Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning I have two guests. I have John Wisenbaker, who's the owner of Wisenbaker Builder Services, which is based in Houston but services all of Texas. And I have Dave Gheesling, who's the CEO of the FEI Group. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me today. A little bit more on introductions, and then I've got a great topic I want to talk about. First, John, you celebrated 50 years of business. You're actually second generation. You do focus on the builder market. Your company started in carpet a long time ago, then diversified into more flooring, and then got into all kinds of different other interior finishes that the builder needs. We've got you, by the way, in our top 100 dealer list, which is our November issue. And, of course, this is our estimate, but we've got you just in flooring sales at around $188 million, and that's number 20 on the list. And I think the way I understand it, that's probably just 60% of your company's total. I appreciate you being with us. And, Dave, you've been the head of the FEI Group for 22 years. Got started with Mohawk and before long got into this role. Most people know FEI Group on the flooring side was known by Floor Expo for a while, and it's a group of dealers / contractors that service the builder and multifamily markets. It's good to have you. Both of you gentlemen are thought leaders in the business, and so I'm excited about this. The topic we're going to talk about is a little bit of an assumption. We're going to make the assumption that Joe Biden becomes the president and that the GOP leads the majority in the Senate. And the question to discuss is how will that impact the home builder market moving forward?
I'll jump in with a little bit and pass the baton to you. I think your insight directly connected to the home building community is going to be more valuable in this interview. But, John and I were together in Houston, Kev, on Monday, touring the facilities, had dinner with his team, and obviously this topic came up for discussion. I think we'll be as level-headed and just fact-based as we work through this thing right here, and you'll probably hear a little bit of pragmatic positivity out of both of us. We're at a point right now where it's very difficult to read tea leaves, but if you look at simply what Biden has said he will do, and of course politicians don't always do what they say they're going to do, but he has said he will increase taxes, he said he will increase regulations, and he said he will support a national shutdown or shutdowns in general. Those three factors alone obviously could create headwinds, no question about it. There is a counterbalance or check and balance system where he does not hold the Senate, and that would probably mitigate a lot of the headwinds, I would think, for sure. Going into 2021, regardless, we have a lot of pent-up demand. We've got supply chain issues constraining single-family home construction. We've got home inventory down, which is accelerating demand. So right now, as of October, the housing market index, which is a number between 1 and 100, anything over 50 is positive, anything under 50 is negative, jumped from 83 in September to 85 in October, and there's not much more room on the high side of that number for us to go. So I'm curious more what John has to say locally in Texas, being directly connected to the home builder out there.
I think everything you said, Dave, is accurate, and all we can do is try to understand and predict what we think will happen, but obviously a divided government typically means nothing changes except for the things that will be done via regulation from the executive branch. For Texas, that's going to impact the energy business, which is a big driver of our economy, so that will put a downward pressure on Texas. But I think Dave mentioned there's been a supply-demand imbalance in many areas of the country for a while, so we're in a deficit for home building, and we have roared back. So I think that doesn't change with a different administration. So we're going to see continued increases in homes being built. Biden has intimated that he would open up trade with China, which should help keep some costs lower for home builders. Home builders have been burned by Chinese imports over the last 18 to 24 months, and builders now ask what is the source of all the goods, whether it be light fixtures or flooring, and they show a bias for domestic goods nowadays that didn't exist 24 months ago. So I think in the supply chain side, you're going to see a bias towards domestic products continue. Also, Biden has mentioned first-time homebuyer tax credits, which will help home building, albeit on the low side, but it should help home building as well.
Okay. But one of the things I think that's affecting the inventory, the fact that there's been some private equity money that's out there that's buying some existing homes and putting them in the rental market. Any chance there'd be any changes in legislation about that?
I can give you a very short answer. I have no idea. It's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of any Biden administration proposals relative to that.
Yeah, okay. Pace right now for September for single-family housing, the annual pace is right under 1 million units. That's down just a hair. And one of the issues has been the inflation of the lumber that's going in. Any chance that this would impact that at all?
Well, it's not just the lumber.
Yeah.
It is so many components that go into a new home. Appliances were back-ordered over 2 million units just a couple of months ago. That number's improving slightly. Asphalt shingles have been a big problem. Lumber, OSB, you can get OSB, but you're paying double for it.
Yeah.
I think the lumber kit increased the average price of a house by about $16,000 for a while, and that number still, I think, holds. So it's a lot of different components, and John mentioned activity in China, the tariffs moving to domestic sourcing, things of that nature. There are a lot of components, Kemp, that go into affecting that supply chain.
In summary, as we try to wrap this up, since there's going to be a point counterpoint, a little bit of a Senate pulling in a different direction, they've talked about Biden being someone who likes to work across the aisle. We'll see. But if the government doesn't shut down, but thanks to the virus, this could be okay for the builder market, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, with a divided government that will mitigate some of the actions, I do think that because of the divided government, it will slow down some of the drag on home building. But we've got some good fundamentals that are baked into the home building market, and those fundamentals aren't changing. People need housing. So I think it will have an impact. It will have a slowing impact on our market, but it won't crash it.
John, you live in Texas. Sounded like it was going to go the other way in Texas, but I guess the polls were wrong down there, weren't they?
They were wrong here as they've been wrong in some other places.
Yeah. All right, guys, any final words on this topic?
Like I said, very difficult to read the tea leaves right now. We'll get through this moment, and the picture will begin to get clearer.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep moving forward, taking next best steps over and over again.
All right, great. Thanks for spending time with us. Again, been talking to John Wisenbaker and Dave Gheesling, associated with the FEI Group, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.